Hello, Royal Affairs family. This is Roy.
And I'm Yolanda.
And we're your guys in Royal Affairs, where we show you
Affairs done right. So what's up, family? Hope
what's
you
up,
guys
y'all?
have been doing well. We are coming back at you. Well, first of all, thank you guys so much for joining us and rocking with us. If you are new, this channel is all about how we are helping couples find love and trust again through travel. If that resonates with you, then thank you so much for joining us. And if you know someone who may have had a breach of trust in their relationship, for us, our story is infidelity. But if you know someone else, or if your story is something different, but you can resonate with there being a breach in trust and you want to get back into the swing of things, you want to renew, rekindle your relationship, then please stick around, subscribe, and we welcome you.
Indeed.
So we have been just tackling some questions, some common questions that are asked when it as it relates to infidelity. And so today we're going to be talking about the recovery time. How long does it typically take?
How long does it take?
Yeah, how long does recovery time take after infidelity?
After the moment that the truth has been told and sown, and there's the initial shock and awe of that. But then, the question is, how long does that recovery time take?
Right.
And so hopefully we'll go through a few points here today to share our thoughts on that.
Yeah, indeed. So we want you guys to know that we're not therapists, we're not counselors. This is based on our experience. We do always recommend that you seek professional help. You seek guidance from a counselor, a therapist. Again, these are things that have helped us, and we hope that something that we say resonates with you.
Right.
So number one is, believe it or not, there is no set timeline.
Right, you kind of look at your watch and say, well, it's been 15 minutes since I told you, so aren't you over it by now?
Get over it right now. So yeah, recovery from infidelity is going to be different for each couple, and that time that it takes is actually also different from couple to couple, right? It can take months, it can take years, depending on the depth of betrayal and what you guys are doing to navigate that process. So don't, what's the word I'm looking for? Don't beat yourself up if, 1 week later, 2 weeks later, 2 weeks later, 1 year later, you're still in this journey of, recovery, because it's going to take some time it's going to take some time for the healing to occur.
Yeah, I would definitely say that recovery is not necessarily a destination. Yeah. It's more of a journey. Think of it almost like getting your bachelor's degree in each other again. So Yolanda went to Spelman, and she got her bachelor's degree in
political science.
In how many years?
4.
And I was pursuing a bachelor's degree as well, and it took me a little bit longer. It took me 5 years.
Which is your degree in?
Computer science. So that recovery time is going to be different for each and every couple. But I think one of the big things that you mentioned, Yolanda, was that it takes some intentionality. So the amount of work that you put in will help to speed up the recovery.
Facilitate
the recovery.
Facilitate. Yeah. And for those who may not know, or it may seem like, okay, Roy told Yolanda yesterday, and now they're already doing a podcast and they got the YouTube channel and all of this. No.
So the discovery was in
January of 2017.
2017, and today is,
well, by the time they get it, because we dropped and today is what, May 4th?
We're in 2025.
Yeah, we're in 2025. So it's going to take some time. It will take time, and don't beat yourself up if your recovery time is a little bit longer than someone else's. The main thing is to be intentional, to make sure that you're doing those things for recovery.
Yeah. And so with that being said, being intentional, those first 6 months are crucial, would be the next point that we would like to make, because at that particular moment. Emotions are very raw at that particular time, and communication is going to be key at that particular time. So kind of waiting around and thinking, oh, maybe it'll get better, or it'll pass, or if we just don't deal with it, then maybe it'll just magically get better. Probably not. Probably not. So the idea of understanding where you are in those first 6 months of what are we going to do?
Right. And asking what are we going to do, that doesn't mean that you have to make major decisions, right? You don't have to say, I'm going to leave, I'm going to stay, I'm going to go here, I'm going to go. You don't have to make those major decisions, because I know for me, when I am just emotionally wrought, when I am emotionally drained. I think I was looking at the ceiling. I'm sorry. When I'm emotionally drained or emotionally distraught, I don't make the best decisions. I've been telling myself, okay, girl, you go get back on the swing of things with these healthy decisions and healthy lifestyles and things like that. And life gets to life. And for me, every now and again, I might want to have a margarita, but that's usually because life been the life, and obviously that's not a major decision. But I'm just, just really trying to iterate. What am I saying? I'm just really trying to point out that when your emotions are raw and all over the place, you should not make major decisions, because your decisions may not be the ones that you want to make. So it's okay to not make those major decisions right away. It's okay during this time to take the time to seek professional therapy, professional counselor, and that may take 4 or 5 months to get the right fit for you, because you got to find someone, and then you got to get on their calendar, get on their schedule, then you go in, and it may or may not be the right fit for you. So if it's not, then you got to start the process all over again. So it's going to take some time to even get through that, get through those steps. So don't, those first 6 months are very crucial to the healing. Especially when you're considering as well prioritizing your emotional safety and physical safety as well. So think about those things, because again, you're raw at that particular moment, and you could possibly say some things that you may regret, do some things you may regret. So having that, finding ways to promote and prioritize emotional safety will help you during the healing process. Right, and which is a great way to go into that. Progress isn't linear. Oh, another good point. Which, for me, as someone who is an overcoming perfectionist, is like, I say I'm going to start working out today, and tomorrow I want to see some progress, but it doesn't happen like that. You're going to have some ups, you're going to have some downs, you're going to have some good days, you're going to have some bad days, you're going to have some challenges, you're going to have some wins. There are days where you're, lovey-dovey, you're, excited to be around one another again, you're excited about this process of healing and, doing the things that you can to do that. And then there's some days where you're like, I don't even like you right now. Why did I make this decision to stay? Good grief. I didn't want to do this. So those are the things that are going to be, constant, and it's okay. That is par for the course. Yeah. Expect those ups and downs, and sometimes it may feel like you're taking steps back. So as we were going through it, and I had to, remind myself, Roy, don't necessarily have the feelings of, why should you keep bringing this up again? Well, maybe because there's been some additional processing, right? And so the idea of, hey, we've already talked about this before, or we've been through this before, doesn't necessarily mean that we've uncovered all of it, right? There may be different nuances, different aspects to it, or just, wanted to hear again that, yes, it did happen. I love you. We're still moving forward.
So knowing that progress isn't linear doesn't mean that, if you take a step back or sideways, that we're off the rails now.
Right.
Circle back, figure out where you need to go, and then just keep pressing.
Right. Yeah. Because whenever I am going through something emotionally, I always like to think of how I can encourage myself through something I've gone through, physically. And sometimes when I know we got COVID some years ago. However, there were some days where you just felt like, yay, you know what, I'm cool, I'm great, I'm doing well. And then that very next day is like, oh, what happened? Well, just because you were feeling well that first day or second or whatever doesn't mean that your body had completely healed from the way that it needs to. And so that's the same thing when it comes to moving forward in recovery time for infidelity. Those good days does not necessarily mean that everything that needs to be discussed and needs to be dealt with has been dealt with or discussed, and that's fine, because that's what it is. It's a process, it's a journey. I like what you said, it's not an end destination, right. So I'm gonna stop right here, because we don't want to overwhelm you guys with a lot of information. I believe, what was I talking to the other day? And I was like, someone said, hey, well, how are you with homeschooling? What made you decide to homeschool? And I said, well, back then I really wanted to homeschool our older ones, but there was not a lot of information out there. And honestly, I was just scared. But now there's just too much information. It's like overwhelmed. And when I get overwhelmed, I'm paralyzed. I can't make a decision. I can't decide anything. It's just too overwhelming and just too confusing. So we're going to pause it right here, because we want you guys to come back for part 2, where we're going to wrap up our discussion on recovery time after infidelity.
And with that, I'm Roy.
I'm Yolanda.
We're your guys in Rural Affairs, where we show you
affairs done right. See you guys next time.